4 or 5 decades, the word remained unspoken. On the day a security policeman's heart was broken, Fish received the pup from the Lone Star State, who protected Air Force warriors from a sinister fate. Hi everybody, it's Diamond Bob, and welcome back to Veterans Advise. And I'm here with my co-host and also producer today, Paul Farman.
Hi, Paul.
And we're here with Joe Hartfield, a female Navy veteran.
Let's give her a round. Thank you.
Nice to be here, Bob. Thank you
for your service.
Well, we're here today to talk about the month of March, which is designated as Female Veterans Month. Mm-hmm. And it's to honor all veterans, female veterans, that have served our country.
Nice.
So we want to talk about that. My sister was a Marine who I love dearly, and Joe was in the Navy. And so I'm going to let her talk a little bit about her experiences in the Navy.
And before we get started, where are we right now?
We're at the Lincoln, California Veteran Hall on 5th Street.
We're doing kind of something different. We're doing a remote this time.
Yes, thanks to your expertise. We're here remotely, and we're going to probably do this a few more times because we're set up to do it now.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it here.
Okay, Joe, what do you got?
Well, I joined the Navy right out of high school because I had gone to Catholic school for 12 years, wore a uniform and was told what to do, and hey, the Navy was going to pay me.
Wow.
Give me a place to live.
Yep.
So I thought I would see the world, and I went to Orlando, Florida for boot camp in the middle of summer, and I went to Great Lake, Illinois for Corps School in the middle of winter. It was eye-opening. Then I came back to California, and my parents expected me home every weekend. I did not see much of the world. I enjoyed my first duty station in Oak Knoll, California. Had a good crew, met a lot of friends, lived on base for a while and then off. Unfortunately, now Oak Knoll is no longer there. I swapped out to Portsmouth, Virginia, and I was there for 2 years. I did a tour up in the neurosurgery clinic, and then I did independent duty corpsman in an urgent care clinic.
So this was right after high school?
This was right after high school, that towards the end of the Vietnam War.
Okay. Yeah.
The last few months, really.
Yeah.
So what were your duties there? What were your...
I was a corpsman. So in Oak Knoll, I was on a general thoracic vascular and surgery ward doing patient care, basically.
Wow.
We were allowed to give meds and a lot of things that a nurse's aide cannot do in the regular world. When I got into the urgent care in Portsmouth, Virginia, I could actually write prescriptions for approved meds and order labs and x-rays. We had a physician sign off on all of our charts, but basically we were independent duty, which was really nice. Never touched a ship. Never went overseas.
You were in the Navy and was never on a ship, huh?
Yep.
Oh, man, that's something else.
Well, that happens a lot, you know.
Well, and back then, women weren't allowed on ships.
Oh, really?
Say that again?
Back then, women were not allowed on ships. Even Navy nurses were not on the ship. They would be overseas duty, but they were not on ships.
What about today? Do you know that?
Today, there are women on ships. In fact,
Yeah.
there is a woman who is the head of the USS Constitution in Boston, Mass.
Wow. So, one of the things we're going to talk about today, and I don't know whether you saw any of this or involved in any of this, is that you got a letter and I got a letter and other veterans got letters about what the policy is for sexual harassment in the military right now.
Wow. Yeah. I want to know about that. I didn't get that letter. What? That's because I'm not a veteran.
Well, I'm going to read this to you. I got this the other day. It says the Department of Veteran Affairs recognizes that veterans are a diverse group who served and sacrificed on behalf of our great nation. We all have a responsibility to ensure every veteran who reaches treatment, benefits, or services at a VA facility is treated with dignity and respect.
Mm-hmm.
And Jody has a little story about something about that. It says VA has a zero tolerance policy for harassing, disruptive, abusive, or violent behavior, harassment, and sexual assault, including sexual harassment and gender-based harassment is inappropriate conduct and will not be tolerated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a couple of the paragraphs that were here, and we talk a little bit about respect, and I know Jody and I had this conversation about a primary care that she had at one of the clinics here in the Sacramento area. And could you kind of tell us the story about that, Joe?
I decided to finally sign up with the VA for health care. I'm 10% disabled and had to fight for that. And my husband is 100% disabled. So I went into the VA and they assigned me a primary care. The people at the front desk were great, no problem. I've been at the VA between my husband and my dad, so people actually know me. They keep asking if I work there. So I went in, I signed up, and I went to my first primary care appointment. And they did not send me any paperwork as to why I wanted to be there or history or any of that. And I went in and I was talking to her, and she asked me why I wanted to have primary care at the VA. I said, well, right now I'm at the Air Force Clinic. I've had 5 primaries in the last 2 years. And with COVID, I've never seen them. I've never laid eyes on these people. I talked to them on the phone for a very short time. And there's no continuity. Being an RN now, thank you, GI Bill, I know what I need, but I worry about the people that don't. So the physician said, well, if that's true and you can use TRICARE, then you should just go to Sutter, which is a outside service. And I wouldn't bother with the VA if you were eligible for Sutter. I left there kind of confused.
Well, the confusion with that for me is anytime you go and try to get CMP, which is compensation and pension, they want your medical records. If it's not at the VA, then you got to go through another whole process to get your information about you to the physician that's going to look at it. So here's my deal. I advise all veterans to get a VA card, get a primary care, go and see the different doctors that you can see that are specialists, and then you are in the system and there's a record of what's going on with you, period.
That's very important.
It's
Even
very important.
regular disability, too. I mean, not just veterans' disabilities.
I went up to get glasses at the clinic. I had been to an outside physician who's been seeing me for years. I just wanted an extra pair of glasses, and the lady at the optician's said, "Oh, well, the insurance won't pay for you. You'll have to go through the VA to get their prescription and we'll fill it." My husband, who also went to the outside physician, she never questioned him.
Different day? Same?
Same lady, different day.
Wow.
So what does that tell you about females and getting what you need to get?
She never asked me for my ID card. Anything.
Now, this is what I want to say right here, right now, and I don't care who hears it, that our female veterans are treated 10 times worse than the male veterans. 10 times. And some of the male veterans are treated so bad, they self-medicate and they do things they really don't need to do to be healthy. Mm-hmm. And can you imagine being a female like my sister in the Marine Corps? 3 years it took to get her benefits at 100%. 3 years, constant pounding on the veteran service officer's door in Burlington County, New Jersey. So it is horrible for anybody who is involved with the VA and the veterans hospitals and any of the people in that organization to not recognize these female veterans for what they did and what their problems are.
Yeah, so what's the solution now? I mean, here we are in 2022. What's the solution?
The solution is we keep banging on the door.
Yeah.
I hope that somebody from the VA is listening to this podcast because they need to hear about it. And when we get done with this podcast today, I may make a few phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that female veterans of my era are less likely, unless they had a catastrophic accident or illness while active duty, they are very much less likely to file with the VA. They need to, but they don't.
And why do you think that is, Joe?
I think it's because we don't feel like we've earned anything. We don't feel that we should take the place of a male veteran that might need help, but that's not true.
No, it's not true. And we had a podcast with Danny Hall, one of our neighbors, that spoke directly to that.
Yeah. That was just, I think, our last one, wasn't it? Or one before this?
Yeah, I think it was 03 or 04.
Yeah.
But you can go on there. You see his little smiley face on there anyway. But that's the bad thing about this. What happened, I think, when Joe was in the military, in the Navy, is that if you reported something, you would be the one that got harassed or demoted or whatever because they considered it. I don't know what the word is, but I'm thinking
Your fault.
Yeah, your fault. Well, in my Italian family, we call it a rat.
Right.
So you didn't want to cast aspersion on anybody. But hey, look, if you're in your bunk and somebody comes in there and all of a sudden you got a hand up your dress, you know what I mean? That is not a good thing. That person should have been slapped or demoted theirself. It's crazy.
And didn't all that start with Clinton's? What was it called? Don't tell. Don't
ask, don't
don't
tell.
ask, don't tell.
That was also a lot for gay
Yeah, but I
people.
think it was an umbrella for everything, though, too. Don't ask, don't tell.
So here's the deal with this podcast today. Joe has given us a lot of good information that female veterans need to realize they are entitled to something. Hey, look, if it was bad enough, it could cause you to have PTSD, not be able to sleep at night, all kinds of stuff. So what I'm telling all you females out there, you go on the podcast, go on YouTube, Veterans Advise, VISE.com, and then you'll see an email address at the bottom of the
Yeah, it's veteransadvise at gmail.com.
at gmail.com. There you go. And then send us an email.
And that goes direct to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes right direct to you. That's good. And they can ask any questions that way. And I know you'll get back with them right away.
Well, everything that is said to me or asked of me, I don't share it with anybody except the person that's.
Right.
So I got a list of prohibited behavior. And the first one is harassment. The second one is sexual harassment. And the other one is sexual assault. So the military has put out this pamphlet, and I don't care what you do. I started my first compensation and pension in 1970 when I got home from Vietnam, and I was 2002 before I got my 100%. So here's what I want to tell all you female veterans out there. Come on now, get on board and get this rolling. And don't worry about who gets compensated, because the federal government puts aside money, and we talked about this on other shows.
Yeah.
Money every year to provide compensation and pension for veterans. And guess what? If we don't get it and we don't use it, guess where it goes?
Yeah.
Back to the government.
Yep.
So listen, I want to tell you this again. Please do not hesitate. And we have a very good veteran service officer here in Placer County. She's willing to take on anything that she can to help veterans. Her name is Tiara Whitfield, and we hopefully have her for a long, long time here.
And we had her on a podcast, like I think our number 2 podcast.
Yeah, it was number 2. If you
scroll down, you can find that podcast, and all of her information is right there.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we're trying to help, but we can't help unless we get people on here and they subscribe so YouTube can spread the word out.
Yeah. That's good. That's real good.
Got anything else you want to say, Jody?
Well, one other side note of being a female in the military. I was going to re-enlist when my tour was over. And the retention specialist
Yes.
said he didn't feel that women should be in the Navy. And So he would send me to Guantanamo Bay,
Oh, no.
which was a 2-year tour of duty with 18-month wait for housing. And I had recently gotten married. So, of course, I got out.
You weren't interested in that.
No.
I didn't think so.
Where do these people get off? I'm starting to get riled up here because I have 3 daughters, I have 2 sisters, I'm the only male child, and anybody ever disrespected anybody in my family in my presence, they'll be hell bent on leather.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, it won't be pretty. And I am in this year 2022 that this still goes on is unbelievable to me.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. All right, guys. Anything else you want to add? Diamond Bob? Hey, you know what? Thank you two for your service. I really appreciate it. I'm not a veteran, but, I've had a lot of people in my family that are veterans and still do. So, in fact, my stepfather is a retired colonel.
Well, we appreciate you coming out here and doing this. Paul set up all this remote stuff. Well, we came out last week and set this all up. So when we came in today, it took 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we were on it. So
I
now
enjoy
we can do this from...
I enjoy doing this stuff with computers and audio and stuff. So that's my little part. That's all.
You're good. So what I'd like to say to everybody is enjoy Female Veterans Month.
Yeah.
All you female veterans,
Let's
go
give
out
them a
and
round.
party. Come over to the Hard Rock Casino and celebrate my birthday on Monday. But
Oh.
anyway,
You're going to be, what, 52?
yeah,
No.
74.
Hey, my band's playing at the Hard Rock. June 24th and 25th.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, everybody out there, we appreciate you listening in. And please, if you have any questions, listen to that second podcast with Tiara Whitfield on it. She's a veteran service officer, very good at what she does. She's helped many, many veterans now that she's been in there for a couple of years. And we just appreciate what she does. All right, see you next time. 4 or 5 decades, the word remained unspoken. On the day a security policeman's heart was broken, Fish received the pup from the Lone Star State, who protected Air Force warriors from a sinister fate. Rowdy was